Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today I'm going to show you how to change the transmission and front drive fluid in our 2016 Polaris 900 XP Ranger. Pretty simple to do. Just going to lift it up to where it's easier to get to, get it drained, then show you how to refill it. So let's get started. Alright guys, before we get started, there's nothing to be afraid on this. It is barely a skill level 1, so this is really going to be simple and something you can easily do on your own and stay out of the dealership. Alright, now as far as the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a decent torque wrench, 3/8 ratchet, an extension, an 8mm Allen, and a little pick tool. As far as the special tools, if you don't already have one, you need to go ahead and pick up a fluid pump. Now Polaris makes one for their gallon jugs, but guess what? It actually works on the quart size as well. Other than that, just a 5/16 length of rubber hose. All the tools you're going to need. Now as far as the parts go, well, if you would reference the parts diagrams, that'll actually show you where the fill and the drain plugs are located on the machine. Other than that, you can stop by Partzilla.com and pick up the different fluids that you're going to need to accomplish this. So, once you have your tools and your fluid together, we can go over there and I can show you how to get it done. Alright, let's start on our transmission back here. We're going to begin by just pulling the rear fill plug. Now, how often should you be changing your fluids? Well, honestly, the rear transmission in your front gear case, every 100 hours, every 1,000 miles. That's also what your maintenance schedule should be for your oil change. So we're going to start back here, get this one drained, and when you're draining it, I want you to pay attention to how the fluid looks when it comes out. Anything other than maybe this, maybe it's milky white, well, that tells me that you may have a bad seal and you've let water get into the system, and that's not good. So it'll need to be addressed quickly. So we've got our drain plug pulled. All right, that actually didn't look in too bad a shape. I saw a little bit of discoloration. What I probably saw was just an acceptable amount of wear on the gears. It'll have kind of a grayish sheen. Now you'll notice on your drain plug, it actually has a magnetic tip. It'll catch any of the wear as far as all the gears meshing. This is not excessive, believe it or not. So while this is finishing draining, I'm going to go clean off all these shavings because I certainly don't want to put them back in there. Just a good rag and then it'll wipe right off and you can actually see the magnet. Make sure our O-ring's in good shape. If yours has the least little bit of nick or looks like it's been compressed too much, go ahead and replace it. Now resist the temptation just to grab your ratchet and tighten it down, because if you don't tighten it enough, it'll leak. You tighten it too much, you risk stripping out the housing. So you get out your torque wrench, set it to 12 foot-pounds. Now let's go ahead and get it filled up. This particular pump from Polaris is actually made for a gallon. It actually has an extension you can use on it. But without the extension, guess what? It actually fits directly onto this bottle. And this hose, I believe it's 5/16 diameter. Pop that in there and away we go. Now you'll notice that the fluid that you use for the transmission is called the AGL fluid. When we go to the front, it's going to be a little bit different type. Don't make the mistake and then use the same fluid front and back or reverse them, even worse. Now you can reuse the same pump. You just need to somewhat clean it out. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but just try not to cross-contaminate too much. An ounce or two, that ain't going to make any difference. The other thing you want to make sure of when you're doing this is the machine is actually level, because if you were 3 or 4 degrees off or thereabout, that'll make a big difference as to how much fluid can get in here. So if you're on a sloped driveway, you may want to take that into account. And looks like that is it. Now I'm using that same drain pan to catch as much as I can that flowed out, but this rear panel is not removable, so there's really no good way around that I know of. But after we get this torqued down, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. And this is actually the same foot-pounds as the drain plug, 12. You actually have a range in between 10 and 14. I'm just going right in the middle at 12. Now we're going to use just some contact brake cleaner. spray down in there just to clean it up a bit. Plus, with it cleaned up like this, you notice that you've got some oil anywhere on there. Well, it wasn't from filling it up, it was from a possible leak, and this will make it easier to spot where you can actually trust it. All right, this pretty much wraps up the transmission, so let's head to the front of the machine. All right, basically it's the same game up front. Just a fill plug, then the drain plug. Basically the same thing, just a lot less fluid, roughly less than a half. All right, our fill plug is right up in here. See what you're doing, just look down through this gap if you don't have a winch on it. All right, let's go for the drain. And by the way, there are 8 millimeters as well. Let's make sure that there's no sand up in there. Forgot to mention that, because if there's sand in here, it won't let the Allen go all the way up, and then you risk stripping it. So make sure there's nothing else up in there. That way it can seat in there fully. All right, now let's pop it loose. And that one looked pretty good as well. Just a little bit of shavings on there, so no big deal. All right, she's finished draining, so let's put her back together. Make sure you grab the correct plug, the one with the magnet in it. Remember, this one's just a little bit less than the transmission. They want in between 8 and 10, so we're just going to go ahead and go with 10. All right, so we've got our pump cleaned out. We've got it ready to go on our Demand Drive fluid. And actually, this holds only about 7 ounces, so not a lot required. This one bottle, you can probably go through 2 or 3 changes. And I think that's going to be it. There it is. Told you it didn't hold much, but that's why it's so important to change it, because that little bit of fluid is doing a whole lot of work. All right, all that's left now is just to get our fill plug back in and then get it torqued down. Well, that one wraps this one up. Not that much to it at all. Well, listen, if you need any of the parts that we use to do this, why don't you come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Till next time, we just want to say thanks for watching.